What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. The title is not clickbait. I know some people click on here and think, man, there's not any Leaf trade rumors. No, today there's been a lot of news that has come out. If you are new to this channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I know there's a ton of you guys that aren't subscribed. I'd really appreciate it. Leading up to the NHL trade deadline, could we somehow get to 12,000 subscribers? And you know what? Let's cover the Leafs playoff run. Let's hope that they can go on a run this year. But check out my other trade rumor videos and the videos that are to come. I've been really busy, but man, I've got a lot to talk about here. So make sure to subscribe. Lots of rumors coming. So I want to start with this. So today on 32 Thoughts, the written version, there was a few pieces here talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the first one was at number 3, talking about the teams that are still in the market for a left shot defenseman. And as you can see, the Toronto Maple Leafs are listed, which we can kind of say is something that we've kind of known for a little while now. Now, there's still some things that are that aren't clear, that we should be unsure about. And is Jake Muzzin coming back? If Muzzin comes back, then the Leafs can't take on a lot of money. They'll have like less than $1 million to work with. And even if they get double retention, they'd have to move money out. It's going to be very difficult. If Muzzin stays on LTIR till the playoffs, then the Toronto Maple Leafs will have a lot more money. Basically, they could trade for virtually anybody they want to with 50% retention. They could even add a third team in there if they wanted to, but they could get pretty well anybody that they're targeting. So the next piece here is Toronto GM Kyle Dubas continues to indicate he does not want to trade his top prospects for a rental, so a player that only has 1 year left on his contract, which is this year, and he does not want to move the team's first-round draft choice for the third time in 4 years. We'll see how this Sherratt deal adjusts the market, which Sherratt went for a first-round pick at 50% retained and a prospect. I believe Lindholm is the Maple Leafs' top target, although they've also taken long looks at Giordano, Justin Braun, Klingberg, and Jacob Middleton. Now, Travis Dermott and Justin Hall have been in the market for months. I wouldn't be surprised if Dermott is given a fresh start regardless of what happens in the next few days. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, Dermott moving is probably something that we shouldn't be surprised about. They could give him a fresh start with a team that might need a defenseman. I look at Ottawa and think, man, I think that he would be a decent fit on that team. Let him run wild and see what he can do there. Same thing with like an Arizona, just teams that aren't in the hunt right now, but are looking to give a younger player. Dermott's not the youngest, but he's still a younger defenseman. See if they can give him some minutes and see what he can do there. But that would remove a little bit of money from the cap. Hall's been playing a little better lately, so I'm not really sure they would want to do that. But man, the Sherratt deal kind of set the market a little bit, because I thought the Manson deal set the market, which he only went for, he didn't go for a first round pick with 50% retained, everything like that. He didn't go for a first. Sherratt went for a first because teams are valuing the grit factor, not looking at his advanced analytics, and showing that Sherratt basically doesn't have an impact in the defensive zone that people seem to think he does. Now, he just cross-checks people and throws people away from the net, but the Leafs got Lyubushkin, so they don't need somebody, worse than Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin's actually doing a really good job for the Leafs. Sherratt doesn't make sense. He never did, but we'll see how Florida does with him. And again, I advise you guys to go look at statistics that show how Sherratt fared versus the Leafs. Defensively, he was not very good. He was not the reason they won that series, and there's plenty of stats to show that. He just led the league in cross-checks out front of the net. That's the only stat that he is number one in. Now, Lindholm being the Leafs' top target. Now, he is a very solid defenseman. He's a puck mover. He can play pretty well in both ends of the ice. But what I want to, show you guys here is Frank Zaravelli tweeting this about half an hour ago. Doesn't sound like much progress has been made between the Ducks and Lindholm on a new contract. Like I said before, he is a pending unrestricted free agent. As we've reported, term has been the sticking point. Will Verbeek circle back? Meantime, I'm told Ducks asked for Lindholm as a first-round pick, grade A top prospect plus another piece. Now, this is where it gets a lot more interesting. So at Leaf Season says that Frank Saravelli on the Fan Morning Show says that the Ducks are looking for a first-round pick and the team's best prospect and another asset for Lindholm. He says that the Leafs would have to give up a first-round pick, Matthew Knies, and another good asset to get Lindholm. No, the Leafs can't do that. I'm not really sure that people are understanding that that is a big no. If you look at that's the reason why I showed you the 32 thoughts thing. The Leafs don't want to trade that first. They don't want to trade any other top prospects for rentals. If this was a guy like Chychrun or somebody else with term that they felt they could, get, good use out of for this year, next year, then maybe this is something that they consider. But there's even been talks of Matthew Knies playing on the Leafs' fourth line going into the playoffs. So I'm not really sure that this makes a ton of sense for the Leafs. Now, I will say I'm all for the Leafs going all in. I do believe that if the Leafs get bounced in the first round this year, that Kyle Dubas likely loses his job and they look at a new GM coming in to assess the situation and likely cleaning house a little bit when it comes to their core. Now, I'm not saying Matthews or Marner or O'Reilly, but pretty much anybody else at that point, except for their young prospects and whatever else. I think past those guys, anything goes. But the Leafs have to go all in here to save that core and to save people's jobs. They have to win a few playoff rounds. They have to go all in. So this asking price is kind of insane for a rental. I like Lindholm. Like I said, $5.2 million cap hit for him, and his deal is expiring. If you're looking at his numbers, 22 points in 61 games played. He does a little bit of everything. He can put up points, but he plays pretty well all over the ice. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. The Leafs, like I said, have interest in a lot of different guys here. There's even Freeman throwing out an insane prediction saying that the Leafs should go after Chara. He's old and slow. I'm not really sure why the Leafs would be interested in him. But this is another very interesting topic or another interesting player that I wanted to bring up to you, and something that I'm kind of on the fence about here. So Frank Saravelli on Sportsnet 590 says that Mark Giordano's top interest and priority is to play in Toronto. Now, I like Giordano, but apparently the asking price for him is also a first-round pick plus. Now, his contract is a lot more expensive. He's at $6.75 million, so this would definitely need some retention, 50%, probably multiple teams getting involved, similar to what would happen with Lindholm. If there's retention, the value of that goes even higher. So I'm not really sure the Leafs can afford a guy like Lindholm, but they probably could afford Giordano if there's double retention, which still the price would go up. You're more than likely spending a first-round pick plus to Seattle and then another team to take on more money. But here's my thing. If Giordano's priority is to play in Toronto, why not just sign him in the offseason when you can get him for free? They have to move their focus to somebody else, because if Giordano already says he wants to play in Toronto, sure, you can have him for a playoff run now, but you're going to be giving up a lot of your future in terms of a first plus to Seattle and then plus something else to another team, a mid-round pick for them to eat more of the money here. But to me, like, I would love Giordano for a playoff run, but the prices right now for defensemen are insane. I keep circling back to guys like Mark Pysyk, maybe a DeHaan. I feel like some of these guys would be cheaper, and a guy like Pysyk is less than $1 million. So even if you got retention on him too, like, it'd be like insanely cheap for your cap hit. So this is just insane to me. I'm a little worried, I'm not going to lie, because the Leafs currently right now, if they went with this roster, it looks pretty good. Like they look pretty good. And again, you can shuffle around some names here, but I've sent down Robertson, and obviously Shalgren won't be one of the goaltenders going into the playoffs. You have Riley Labushkin, Brody Hall, Sandine Lilligren, and Dermott and Muzzin on long-term injured reserve. So they would have like $4.9 million in cap space. But again, there's like some accrued cap space, prorated stuff. The Leafs would probably have more than this to work with. And again, that doesn't matter because they could get retention and get way more. They could get an $8 million player technically if they got somebody to eat 50% of a contract. There's so much to take in, and that's why I need to be making videos probably every day until the deadline. So make sure to like and subscribe because there's going to be lots of stuff coming. But there is just a ton of information out there, and I'm kind of worried about what the Leafs might spend on somebody, and maybe they will get priced out of some guys because they feel like they can't afford to give up too much on rentals. So it's going to be really interesting. I kind of wanted to make this video to give so that way you guys could give your thoughts. I think the 32 Thoughts segment on Saturday is going to be very interesting considering the deadline's on Monday. There's going to be a lot to talk about. So make sure to like this video and subscribe. I think Lindholm and Giordano might be too costly, but if you're all in, you might have to go grab one. So again, I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.